All right, everyone. Here we are with the S&P 500 index, SPX. And before I jump into this chart, welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow, all my first-time viewers and investors. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers for always watching, your feedback, support, and also engaging in conversation in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. And I hope you guys learned something new and find this informative. So the pump happened, right? And the day before the pump, there was uncertainty with Monday. There was a slight run up, slightly fell down, and then it started to work its way up. And it ended the day at around $3,360. And the next day, which is right here, the 11th, right after the pump happened, it reached right around 3,379, and the highest peak was 3,381, all the way from 60 to 81. That's a $20 difference here on the S&P 500, and that was significant because just by seeing how it goes up from the day before, right? Obviously, with the help of investors building up to that point, um, it jumped $20, and many stocks probably jumped up in the S&P 500 between 30 cents to a dollar, maybe even more, depending on the stock. But you can see how the effect of the pump works, and I'm doing this video to show you guys. And typically, right after the pump or on the day of the pump, you see something so steep like this because people that know sell off. We're not the only ones that know, and I do these videos to enlighten more of you on what's going on right now in the market overall and so forth. But it's going to take another pump to recover this. And tomorrow, depending on how attracted investors are to the market as a whole, we're going to see if this could recover or if it's going to continue to fall. And this is a really steep fall. And the next announcement of when a pump is going to happen is until the 13th. So there's uncertainty with tomorrow. There's uncertainty all day the 13th. I highly suggest all my viewers, right, to share this video, share it with all your friends, share it with all your communities and all the investors that you know, that I am here to tell you guys that it is a lot safer to just be observant on what's going to happen until there's a confirmation, which later this week, if you're a first time viewer or someone that's been viewing my channel but hasn't subscribed, I highly encourage you to hit the subscription button and the notification bell so you can get notified when I post these videos. That I will post a video once I know the scheduled dates and if there is a release of scheduled dates, because that's where the uncertainty is. This was the last pump of the scheduled dates that started all the way back on the 14th of July, all the way until now, the 11th of August. So that was all confirmed and guaranteed, but now there's uncertainty if on the 13th, will they say there's another one coming up in the next week or two, or if there's not even going to be one, because Congress has had trouble passing stimulus bills on the 7th, and we're left with uncertainty if the Federal Reserve is affected by that. So a lot of investors that know what's going on and are aware clocked out, and they dropped this from 3,380 and even 3,360, which was yesterday's closing, even below the low it reached of last week on Friday. It reached a low of 3,326, and it slightly recovered and closed out at 3,334. And that's just showing that some investors were still attracted to some stocks to an extent, but that is a significant drop. That's a $50 drop right there. And in the SPY, that's like a $5 drop. And in a lot of stocks, that's like, 1%, maybe 2, 3, 4, even 5% of their stocks dropped due to this significant sell-off. This isn't just fear, but this is uncertainty what we're having here. But you could see the buildup from the 7th, right? The 7th closed out at about, I'd say, this third candlestick, and then the 10th, and then there was a slight sell-off, and then there was the anticipation and build up till today's pump. And that's great. It brought it from 3,340s all the way up to 3,300 and in the 80s. But the sell-off happened so quick that it actually now fell below that. And the question is, will there be more sell-off tomorrow, or what will attract investors when there's uncertainty between tomorrow and the 13th? And then the 13th will release if there's a yes or a no. And there's also the uncertainty of how soon will it be? Will it be next week? Will it be in the next 2 weeks? I mean, all those different variables. So you can see how quickly the S&P 500, and just based off the S&P 500 and most of the videos I posted today, you could see that they all had some slight sell-off, whether people taking profits, fear, or the uncertainty. Um, if you were to open up your, Robinhood account, Webull account, Ameritrade, E-Trade, just, you know, Goldman Sachs, just whatever you use as a platform. If you look at most of the ticker symbols, and I'm not saying that all of them are, most of them are in the red. And that makes a lot of people sell off. But this was all sell off due to the uncertainty. And we're going to definitely know tomorrow and between the rest of the week if this steepness will continue. And if there's even a slight recovery, will it be a recovery that can hold it up? Or will it be a recovery that will do this effect on the stock overall, right? Not just the S&P 500, but the market overall, and get it back to lower points because of the uncertainty. Yeah, there's peaks, but every time you look at the peak is in a downward direction. And excuse my terrible drawing, but just to give you guys an idea, yeah, there's ups, but the down comes, and then there's another up, but the up is lower than the last up, and so forth. And that effect could be what we'll see. Now, if there's a recovery tomorrow and it's significant and it brings it back up in this direction and it kind of levels off, then that's good. That's good for the overall market. That's good for us investors. But right now, my best advice is to be in observation mode, because the pumps are what have led this upward trend that we have seen and experienced. And right now, the closest thing to this is the last time we were left in uncertainty, which was from the July 13th to the 14th. And then the pump happened. And we weren't sure just yet when the next release date was. And here, this was news or just fear or bad earnings, but this one was the last time that we experienced uncertainty and we can see the dip. But the next day there was a pump. There is no pump yet scheduled or announced or even known of. And that is what we're waiting for. And that is what the market is feeling. And that's what investors are doing, taking profits and not staying in, because this is right now the highest that we know, right? And the highest that we've seen since the recovery. And that's why it's being pretty steep, the fall. Now, there needs to be that released information to re-attract investors to stay in the market or come back into the market, and even new investors that were uncertain. So my best advice is do your due diligence, do your research, and be in observation mode how this reacts tomorrow. If there's a recovery tomorrow, I'm not one to tell you to sell, hold, or buy, but if there's a recovery tomorrow, watch it carefully and make your own rational decisions as investors. But I did want to share this information with you that yes, this run has happened. It hit new highs that we haven't seen since the crash. We were about to hit our previous highs of 3,400 and some change. We were away from it for $20, and that was with the help of the pump and the anticipation and attracting investors. But look at how quickly and how steep, when there's no information on the next pump, when there is no pump, and when there's uncertainty in the market. And especially that this was the highest point we've seen. Most investors, their calls, their puts expired, and their positions, they got out because this is the closest thing to the all-time highs of 3,400. And everyone in the market is left uncertain now. So we have to wait till the 13th to know if there's even going to be a release. Because they could just tell us, no, there's no more pumps. Or they could tell us, hey, these are the next scheduled pumps. And that's going to be great news for us because as long as these pumps continue to last, this upward trend from this point all the way up to where we're at now, even though it fell steep, will continue to work its way up to newer points and newer highs. So that's going to be interesting for us. We're going to have to pay close attention tomorrow. If you're in the market, um, just do your own due diligence, research, and be very rational about your decisions and decide if you're going to hold or do stop losses and so forth. And if you're not in the market and you're feeling ready to buy or you want to buy, do your due diligence, do your research, and just observe the behavior of most stocks and even refer back to the S&P 500 because it can tell you how the average market is doing. So I hope you guys found this helpful and informative. Share this with your friends and community. Hit the like button for me to let me know you watched this video. And thank you for watching always. Let's make some money.